This is how the BMW S1000RR did at the Spring 21 Texas Mile event. To see all the tasks it took to get ready, you can check out the preparation video on my channel. Bike made it here fine. There were just a couple last minute things I had to do to get it ready for the strip. Putting this race tape on, what it does is it gets rid of all the cracks and crevices that cause worse drag. And so this should make it more aerodynamic, which is paramount when you're going that fast. Let's see if I can do this without making a mess. I love the smell of race fuel. It smells like adrenaline. And soon I found myself staring down that runway, ready to hit the strip for the first time in almost 4 years on this bike. Still the same 2010 bike, but with an upgraded 2018 engine and electronics. Pretty obvious I haven't done any launches for a while, and it's taken some practice to get familiar with shift points at just the right place. This was my first time on this particular runway. It was definitely more bumpy than Victoria had been, but it didn't have that drastic bump at about 3/4 mile like the original Beeville one. What I noticed is it didn't seem to have as much for braking distance after the mile mark. I found myself really pinning the brakes just to be safe. On a bike it's not as bad because you're only stopping 400 pounds, which is a lot different than 4,000 pounds. 175 was the first run, then 183. The last run I did, I had a good launch and I was hitting the rev limiter for about the whole last 1/4 mile, which tells me that my sprocket isn't quite right. The speed for it was 184. I've taken off the 45 sprocket and put on the 44 sprocket, and I'm just tightening everything down and adjusting the chain and everything, and then go out and do another run and see what it does this time. So I changed the sprocket and I got to 188, and I've been looking at the video and it looks like I was actually pinging the rev limiter on that 188 run with the 44 sprocket. I'd gone from 45 down to 44, and so what I'm going to do this morning is go to the 43, and in theory that should give me 192 to 3 mile an hour top end if I can get all the way out. I do have a couple smaller sprockets, but they're back at home and not on sprocket carriers, so I guess if I peg this one out, I'll have to decide, is it worth going home to change that, or do I just wait for the next event, or what do I do? After making that sprocket change, I broke 190 mile an hour on this bike for the first time. The next run was the best that I'd achieved in the 1/4 mile. 147.1 mile an hour for a 1/4 mile speed. I still had a lot of work to do in my launches. It'd been too long and I didn't get a chance to go to the drag strip before this event to really get practiced at my takeoffs, and it really showed. Even with the best 1/4 mile speed so far, I was actually just a little bit less at 190.0 than last time. The next couple rounds I got just shy of 192 both times. But the next run, I not only broke 192, I broke 193 as well. I was more aggressive on the launch. And I need to remember to fix that dash so it doesn't top out at 186. At the end, it sure felt like it was hitting the rev limiter. I got the highest half mile and mile at 193.3 that run. 193.3 is the highest I have ever been in any vehicle ever. Good news is I hit 193.3. Bad news is I'm out of sprockets, so I'm heading back to San Antonio from Beeville to put new sprockets on new carriers and get them back to Beeville tonight so that in the morning I can change sprockets again. I went home, grabbed the smaller sprockets, swapped them out on the carriers, put them all back together, retorqued them, and headed back to Beeville that night. Sunday of the Texas Mile. With the bike loaded heading home, I'm not going to do any better today because the tailwind's gone and there's about a 20+ mile an hour crosswind. It rained this morning as well, so I'm not going to be going any faster than my 193.3 mile an hour yesterday. The 21 mile an hour crosswind doesn't make it ideal either, so I'm going to be happy I didn't crash, happy I got some new high speeds, and take my sunburn and head on back home. These are the runs for the weekend, and the big one, 193.3 new high. That had a quarter speed of 143.9. The high I had for a quarter was 147.1, but I did have the highest half speed of 175.5 on that one. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to learn more about how to enjoy amazing machines like this.